here's the turbo setup altogether. Hot side, S14 turbo, just some cheap elbow. This manifold was previously a Fiev's KA setup that I barely got run. I welded external wastegate onto it, but we're running internal wastegate from Mark's car, so I had to weld it back up. I'm running an AN8 oil drain, and then dash 6 for the water. It should look pretty killer in the car. I'm excited for it to get some heat to it. It should look pretty, and the engine bay will look cool with the turbo in it. But yeah, that's the hot side. Here's the intake manifold. Also, I've gone through it all. I eliminated all the EGR stuff, tidied it up, you know, washed it a little bit, but I still, on this turbo setup, the whole thing is simplicity, and I'm not making anything perfect, or like I want like a raw look, something nice, pretty and raw. So I'm just going for a clean engine, but nothing super tidy. All that's necessary now on the manifolds, I need to put on the 550s. These are also from Yev's previous KA setup that never really ended up getting any miles on it. They actually got some cracking and stuff, so we got some new O-rings, some new filters. Just got a little bit of everything. So I'm back, got some stuff here made, as you just saw in the last couple clips. Intake is all tacked up. I began making the charge pipe, also tacked up. I had to run some pie cuts there too, just because I won't have enough pre-bent bends. It was like roughly a 45. I made the intake first because I wanted to make sure my hot side, like where I puncture my hole in this wheel well, I want to make sure that my intake sits good and clears everything. 3-inch intake, 2.5-inch in for piping. It should be pretty neat. We will not be running a blowout valve on this like all of the other cars that we normally run. It should sound good as long as there's no stalling issues. So pretty legit. Pretty legit. Now, I'll be nice. I'll be 26 inches. So the technique here is mark thick lines so that you got a lot of room for air. Plus minus 1/8 inch. So plans changed. I was gonna mount the intercooler onto the bumper support, but the intercooler is just so tall. It's a 12-inch tall core. I had like two options between a 12-inch tall and it's like a 6-inch tall, and the 6-inch is just gonna look ridiculously small. I ended up welding it like lots of regular intercooler brackets are on 240s, and this is centered out and raised to my desired height. Tomorrow when it's daylight, I'll notch out these frame rails a little bit, but as of right now, I need to work throughout the nighttime, so I need to hole saw my holes in the wheel wells. So I already pre-drilled one of my holes. It's a 2.5-inch pipe for the intercooler, so I got a 3 3.25-inch hole saw, so that I have a decent amount of space around the pipes so that they don't rub and make holes in them. I'm going to drill out both those holes. I mainly had to work with how my intake is sitting, so I had to bring him pretty close to the frame out, as close to the frame rail, but I'm going to try to bring him out just a tad because I don't want to run 90 couplers right off the intercooler. I think that looks ugly. I'm just gonna try to bring in this 90 as tight as possible, and hopefully that will be enough. So far so good. Let's get to sawing some holes. There. Alright, start it up.
A little busy, so I thought I'd explain this. So far we've done with the exhaust as well on this little piece. That way this tip right here gets some action too, because if you look, this tip is like fully blacked out inside with just exhaust fumes, and then this tip is really like, it's pretty clean compared to like that. So that should help, you know, differentiate the flow and get it coming out of two of the tips instead of just one. Right here we took out one resonator because it dipped down to a 2-inch pipe, and we want 2.5 inch at minimum to flow throughout the whole exhaust. The whole exhaust is 2.5 inch. That way there's no like back pressure buildup in the middle of the exhaust. Then in the front we had to re-weld, well, Ruben re-welded a whole new flange to fit this manifold that we're running now, because when you go turbo you go a new manifold. So yeah.
Stick it.